It's time for Living Your Purpose, a motivational and inspirational podcast with Peter and Joyce Nielsen.
Hey everybody, welcome to Living Your Purpose podcast. I'm Peter Nielsen with my lovely wife Joyce, and we're excited to be here. If you're a first-time listener or you're watching on YouTube, thank you for joining us, and something maybe on the inside provoked you to find us. And if you do like this content, just press that subscribe button below. You know, today we're going to answer a question which I thought was a great question. You know, a lot of people from now, we're entering October already, and from now until say the first of the year, the average person will gain, unfortunately, 1 to 7 pounds, and it doesn't need to be that way, and you don't need to be a statistic.
I know, the fall always makes me want to hibernate. So
It does.
we're going to tell you ways to avoid that.
Yeah, and I took some steps to try to counter that so that we would have, you know, even me being a professional athlete, it's like we're walking like, you know, anywhere between 4 and 7 miles 5 out of 7 days a week. So think about it, you're burning hundreds of calories. It takes 3,500 calories to lose 1 fat pound. Now, if the weather gets colder and you stop doing it like I do, I continue to do the working out, and you know, I'm working out supersetting, so I'm reaching my anaerobic threshold, but not like by walking in nature, you know, with my wife. So I even put on maybe like 1 or 2 pounds, even right here. And in the spring, it's like this cycle of me then taking it off, and then by June I'm back to my ideal weight, and then all of a sudden I get really in great shape in August, and then here we come fall. So what we did this time is we purchased a treadmill, which in my opinion is one of the best pieces of equipment to take care of your cardiovascular health. It's great for cardiac rehab, and it's just great for increasing endurance and burning fat calories.
It's truly been a wonderful family investment.
Yeah, and you know what I wanted to do is kind of give you a 101 on how to purchase that piece of equipment. And I've been doing this, you know, for half of my life, for 30 years. So I've been in this business, and owning health clubs, I would have 40 to 60 pieces of equipment, cardiovascular wise, treadmills, steppers, recumbent bicycles. We even had spin classes and cardiac boxing, all in on my different clubs. So when it comes to treadmills, the first thing that I need to say, which I think is so important, is how many of you are just vegging at night, and during the fall, I mean, these marketers are not stupid, because during the fall, they know that there's less daylight, we're drinking more alcohol, we're doing less exercise outside for half of the country, so they're putting on these infomercials for the latest, the greatest cardiovascular pieces of equipment. Time out. They put millions of dollars into these infomercials, and they market them to different areas like Michigan, New York, areas that are cold, you know, during the winter. What I need to say, and I don't want to throw any company or any marketing company or any network under the bus, go to a sports store like a Dunham's, get on a treadmill, learn about it, feel it, see if it fits into your home, see if it fits into your budget, see if you like the way it feels. So what I wanted to do is just really kind of go through step by step.
Yeah, and what he's saying, I mean, we even went through that process. I don't know how many times
It was about 6 months.
My son and him would go and test. You must have did at least 6 different treadmills at 6 different places until we finally settled on the one that we brought into our home that we all love.
You know, and what I will say on that, I mean, again, I'm a professional athlete. winning 50 bodybuilding titles. This is what I do. My body has been my business my entire life. With God's help, been very successful in the fitness industry. So, what I want for a treadmill is totally maybe something different than you need because I overkilled it. It's like, the difference between a toy and a machine when it comes to a treadmill is about $1,000. So I want to start right there. The treadmill that we brought in was a commercial treadmill, pre-core. It's got a TV on it, it's got the heart rate monitor, it's got rails for safety. It is, it's almost $8,000 for something like that. And for most people, you don't need that. That's for repetitive use. But I love that treadmill, and I wanted that for my family. And I know that you like to watch a show or two. And what I will say before I get into the details on buying a treadmill, you either love cardio or you don't. You either love working out with weights or you don't. Which one are you? Well, I'm going to just be uncut, uncensored here. I love working out with weights. I'd rather have root canal than get on a treadmill and spend hours doing that. But what we've learned, and I feel like I won this battle with me and the treadmill, is that most of the treadmills that I had at my clubs didn't have a TV or didn't have a lot of gizmos. So when I'm on there and I wanted to be on there for 45 minutes to an hour, I would put a towel over, the machinery so that I wouldn't see how long I have to still go, because it seemed like time was slowing down. And I was going crazy. Now all of a sudden, if I'm watching the news, if I'm watching a sports game, the Lions win, if I'm watching something, if I'm listening to Spotify, or a Netflix, now all of a sudden it's going by quick. So it's very mental when it comes to your fitness, and you need to get your mind out of the gutter, have a mind shift that this is going to help you not only look good, but feel great from the inside out. Cholesterol down, VO2 max up, heart rate, resting heart rate down. It's going to be great, especially if you're on a beta blocker, a calcium channel blocker. Check with your cardiologist. Let him determine your training heart rate, because a beta blocker or a calcium channel blocker will subdue your blood pressure and your heart rate. So if you're on the machine and you're looking, or you have a polar heart rate monitor and you're trying to get it up for your age and your gender, and you're on that medicine, you could end up hurting yourself.
And if you don't have one that has a heart monitor, we have a blood pressure watch that also measures your heartbeat. And I just have to say, the TV, I went for almost 2 hours last night at a 11 incline. And because I was watching a show I was really intrigued at, and I was like, sweating like I've never sweat on a 7-mile walk.
You were on it, man. And then today you were on it again.
Yeah, yep. But it really does help, and monitoring, like you said, the heart rate is amazing.
And I'm glad you said it. I partnered with, Dr. Yaakov Jiva from Israel on an amazing company. He's a pioneer in innovation with modern technology, with telehealth and devices. So we have this brand new, and we had him on the show last week, but I'm gonna go over next week or the following week on these devices. One is a heart rate monitor, which basically takes your blood pressure as well, and it looks like a nice watch. But instead of putting a cuff on, if you do have to watch your blood pressure throughout the day, you don't have to immediately go to the urgent care. You can have it on your wrist and press a start button, and you get your blood pressure right here, because it has a little cuff around your wrist in the watch.
Yeah, and you can find that at gmedwellness.com. And what was the heart rate? I was asking the other day. You said it'd be like 115, 120?
Everyone's different. So if you
Okay.
take 220 minus your age, that's your maximum heart rate. And then you want to times that by 70%. Then that number, which say for you would be maybe around say 110. And then you do the same equation and you times it by 80%, that's your high number, which may be about 130. So now you know your zone. If you're below that 110, you need to go a little higher because your heart's getting conditioned.
Right. You're wasting your time, in other words.
You're probably still burning some calories, but you're not getting a cardiovascular workout taking care of the most important muscle, your heart. So let's talk about, you're looking to buy a treadmill for your family. You go into, say, a Dunham's, they have them all lined up, and it looks like a foreign language. You're just lost. The first thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that the treadmill is going to fit into your apartment, your loft, your condo, your home. And there's many treadmills now that you just basically press a little button on the bottom and a spring brings it up, so it's portable. So you can actually wheel it into a large closet or just put it against a wall instead of it being out there in the room, whether it's your living room or your bedroom. So that's number one. Number two is you want to make sure the treadmill, there's a lot of toys that they call them treadmills, they have no rails. Listen, even me, I don't have equilibrium problems or balance problems, but if someone is getting up there in age, maybe they had a stroke, maybe they get dizzy because they do have high blood pressure, maybe their eyesight is off, you want to make sure you have railing on your treadmill. It's essential. And then the next thing is that if you are trying to lose and facilitate excess body fat, and say let's even take it one step further, you're morbidly obese, you're 100 pounds over your ideal body weight. And say you're a guy and you're weighing 300 pounds and you need to lose like 100 pounds. Well, don't get a treadmill that weighs 200 pounds because guess what? And I say this with love, you're gonna break it. So make sure you ask these questions. How much does this treadmill weigh? A real good treadmill is going to be able to take a weight and truly secure that weight of at least 300 to 350 pounds. So you need to make sure that the treadmill is sturdy, it weighs enough, and it can take your weight as you're starting to wean down and lose weight. It's important, or you're going to break it, and it's going to be a bad experience. The other thing that you need to make sure is that, and this is really important, and you need to write this down or watch this again or listen to this again, is buy a treadmill that has a 2.0 continuous duty motor. Now ours is like 3.5, which is overkill again, but you want to make sure you have a strong enough motor that's going to support your weight and as many times as you may do this on a weekly basis. So I mentioned a lot of things, and I'm going to recap in a moment, but you want to also make sure that the tread is 18 to 22 inches wide. You want to make sure that the length of the treadmill is 52 to 54 inches long. It's important because you don't want to be on something small that's Mickey Mouse and you're going to again lose your balance and you're like trying to save a few dollars and you're going to be taking 5 steps forward and buying it and 10 steps back and not liking it. So these are important things. The other thing that people don't realize is you want a treadmill that basically you can easily adjust the speed. And the speed should go up to 10 miles an hour. That's the gold standard. And then the other
That's
button,
running really fast.
that's running really, really, really fast. I mean, we have we have a 200-pound Great Dane, and he's like a gazelle. I mean, he's like a thoroughbred, and I think that he doesn't even run that fast.
But on that topic, for a lower end of the spectrum, for people that really want to gain something through it, but maybe you have hip problems or whatever, and you can't jog, but you want to do a walk, you want to be at what, at least a 2.0, 2.5?
At least a 2.0, 2.5. I mean, 3.5 to 4 miles an hour is something that you want to work up to, because now you are reaching your anaerobic threshold. Now you're not able to talk to your partner or your training partner because you're hyperventilating, and you're really getting a cardiovascular workout and burning calories. Intensity is king when it comes to cardiovascular training for your heart. The other button next to the speed is just as important, and you love it. It's the incline, and it's like going up hills, and you got programs. Even if you don't have programs, make sure you have one button for speed, and you could go up to 10 miles an hour. The other button for incline, that could go up to 10% of an incline. And when you're doing that, you're working your glutes, you're working your hamstrings, you're getting, I mean, you were doing that yesterday like crazy, right?
Yeah, I
On
love
the
it.
incline.
I love it. But while we're on this topic, everybody's different depending on your physical capabilities. So let's talk about intensity versus duration. So what would you recommend for someone that can only do maybe a 2.0, which would be a medium walk? Maybe you're not losing your breath, but you really can't go because of a physical disability quicker than that. How long would you want to walk versus someone that is going maybe 4 or 5 miles an hour?
Great question. And again, one person's treasure is another person's rubbish. So what she's saying is so true. If someone is recovering, or you have emphysema and you just can't walk for a long period of time, lean into it. And what I mean by that is, if you can only do two miles an hour, then you could do it in intervals. You could do 15 minutes in the morning, document it, journal it, and do another 15 minutes, at lunch, and do another 15 minutes at after dinner. Your goal would be 45 to 60 minutes of duration. Your intensity should be 70 to 80% of your maximum heart rate. That's going to determine how fast you're going.
Calculators out.
No, but what Joyce is saying is a loaded question, because the more conditioned her heart gets, which is a muscle, the faster she needs to go past that 2.0 miles an hour to get up to 70% of her maximum heart rate, no less 80%. So the beautiful thing is that your body loves you, and as you start, if you're just recovering after back surgery, a hip replacement, or just been a couch potato for years, is that 2 miles an hour may get your heart rate up real quick. You may be sucking wind. You may have to do 1.5 or something like that. But as you continually be persistent, what ends up happening is your heart loves you. It gets conditioned like a muscle, and all of a sudden, that 2.0 doesn't get your heart rate up as quick anymore, and you got to go a little faster. So you may have to go, if you are at 2.0, you may have to go to 2.5 to get to that 70% that we were talking about. That's the beautiful thing. It's you against you, And if I could recap, you're buying a treadmill, don't do it from infomercials. Go into a store like Dunham's, a sporting goods store, try it out, bring a pair of good sneakers. We're going to be doing a whole episode on that topic, because one of the most important pieces of equipment you'll ever wear for a walking or running program is the shoes that you wear and I could go off on that for another half hour, and I won't.
So true, because we did a 7-mile walk the other day, and unbeknownst to me, I had on cross trainers. By the end of it, my back was starting to hurt. I felt a little uncomfortable, and he's like, "Babe, where are your walking shoes?"
Right.
So tune in next week to hear more about that.
Exactly. But just to recap before we leave, and we appreciate you, is go to a sporting goods store, try it out. Don't buy it from an infomercial. Get ones with handrails. Get something that weighs at least 250 to 300 pounds, especially if you're very overweight, so that it supports you. Get something that's portable if you're in an apartment that folds up. Get something that has 2.0 continuous duty motor. Get a treadmill that inclines to 10%, that the speed goes up to 10 miles an hour. And you may get a deal on a $1,000 treadmill at, say, a Dunham's for $899 or for $850. It's still going to be good, but the suggested retail price will really tell the story. If it's $1,200, it's a machine. If it's $600, it's more of a toy. And I'm just keeping it real, so save up. You're investing in your health. The most important muscle, your heart. We got 2 hands, 2 eyes, 2 legs. We got 1 pump, and we need to take care of it, and if anyone has any questions, you could go to peter@peternielsen.com. You could find us on social media at Peter and Nielsen. And we have a new website, which is transformwithpeter.com. And we have courses, macronutrient meal plans. And I have a new course coming out for all people that have IBD, Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis. So stick around. Digestive health is really the cornerstone on what got me to where I am with our Creator's help. And you can be that best version of yourself too when it comes to your health. And that's why we're here. We want you to live a purposeful life. If not, you're just doing life on the sidelines. And it's a vapor. It goes so quickly. And we want you to get back in the game. So I love this woman very much. Thank you for such a wonderful partner in life with me. And find yourself a training partner. Find yourself someone that's your accountability buddy. It makes life so much better.
Sure does.
I mean, even days that I don't want to work out, she's normally then in the mood, or vice versa. And we push each other, we grow together, and we love together, which is so important. And we recommend that for each and every one of you. Until next week, I'm Peter, Joyce, for living your purpose.
Experience the future of health monitoring with the BPW2, the next generation in wrist blood pressure monitoring. Fully automatic and non-invasive, the BPW2 measures your systolic and diastolic blood pressure and your heart rate by inflating a cuff on the wrist with just a simple press of the start-stop button. Using advanced measuring while inflating technology, the blood pressure watch ensures accurate and comfortable readings every time. It seamlessly connects through Bluetooth to both iOS and Android devices, transferring your data to a mobile medical application for easy tracking and management. The BPW2 is also a stylish watch, providing time and health updates all day. Now you can have your health at your fingertips.
It's time to become the CEO of your body. Take control of your health now with G Medical Innovations.